Firstly, thank you so much, Abram, for agreeing to talk about your experiences. You're turning 100 in... What month are you turning 100 in?
In October, on the 5th of October.
Amazing. Well, a lot of people talking right now about how Biden might need to withdraw, saying they need someone younger. Have the Democrats been in contact with you? It's amazing. It's amazing that 100 years old. What's it like being 100?
Well, I reached jetzt 100. It's 3 months ago.
Yeah, 3 months ago. But
yes.
but what's it like? I mean, it's amazing you can still speak about your experiences and.
Well, 100. Well, it makes all no difference.
Yeah.
Physically, you see.
Yeah.
I don't think mentally.
It's amazing you're still living independently at the age of 99.
Oh, well, yes.
Yeah.
I live independently. Oh, yes, I have some help.
Yeah,
You
that's
see,
amazing.
and I have not good kids.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. So, you were born in Łódź, Poland?
Łódź, Poland.
Yes.
Łódź, Poland. It was the second largest city in Poland.
Yes.
It was the youngest of the big cities actually in Poland.
And what was life like growing up in Łódź?
Well, Łódź, proportionally, there was 34% of the population of Łódź was of Jewish origin.
Yeah, interesting.
Well, Poland was, and still partly now, the unluckiest country in Europe, because the border between East and West.
Yeah.
So we were attacked even from the Vikings, even from the north.
Yeah.
They were attacked. You see, Poland was always, well, yes, Jews were never expelled.
Yeah.
Poland.
Such a long history in
a lot of history. And
Lodge was also industrial.
yes,
Like
Lodge actually was the second to Manchester in England, the textile industry.
Oh, okay, yeah, interesting.
Yes.
Interesting. And so you were born into a big family, or?
Oh, well, in those days it was the average.
Yeah.
We were 4 children.
4 children.
Well, I was the youngest.
Yeah.
I had 3 sisters.
Yes. And what was Jewish life like in Łódź growing up?
Oh, well, 100% Jewish.
Yeah.
We had our culture. We had our political organizations.
Yeah.
And I had also schools.
Yes. And you were involved in the Labour Bund movement?
Oh, well, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
You see, when I was only 4 years old, well, and in our home, I describe it in the book, you see, there were hot discussions.
As young as 4?
I didn't understand, but I was interested to hear.
Yeah, interesting.
And also, my father was also, like most of the Jews, from religious background.
Yes.
My father was a rebel in the beginning of the 20th century.
A rebel?
Yes, because his father had a so-called school of religion, a little school of religion.
Wow.
And my grandfather wanted me to go to it. I didn't want to go. I didn't want to spend from 9 to 2 just.
Yeah.
But I persuaded me and I went. Well, so I knew how to do it also. When I finished, well, from 9 till 2, my grandfather escorted me to the door. So he gave me a little bit of money to buy sweets.
Yeah.
And he said not to tell my grandmother.
That's good.
But my grandmother took over by the door and took me home. She did the same thing.
Wow.
So, well, I learned how to keep my mouth shut.
Yeah, that's
From
good.
a very early age, to be sick of it.
Amazing.
And at a young age, I was in the sport club of the Bund.
Yeah.
Yes, well, and I became a junior champion gymnast.
With the Bund.
No, in the sport club. We played the
Brilliant,
competition. And then the war broke out.
Yes.
My sisters, one was 2 years older than me,
Wow.
one was 4, and my oldest was 7 years older than I was.
Yes.
And it's the youngest, and she's the oldest. It's all sole survivors
Wow.
of our whole extended family.
Wow. How large was your extended family?
Well, after when my mother, after 1942, in the Ghetto of Łódź, when my father tried to save my 2 aunties with the young children, the husband were not in the ghetto because it's the beginning of the war, and Nazi Germany attacked. Well, also a week before the outbreak of the war, what was called the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact.
The Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact.
A week.
Stalin and Hitler.
Well, how Nazis and communism.
Yeah.
Well, how ridiculous it was.
Yeah.
And in this pact we learned very soon, because it's a division between Russia and Poland. The east was to the Soviet Union, and the west part to Nazi Germany.
I wanted to ask you, so growing up as a child in Poland, and it was the center of Jewish life in Europe, what was it like in terms of anti-Semitism, and was it even conceivable growing up that something like the Holocaust?
We fought anti-Semitism, you see.
Yeah.
We fought it in any way was possible, even physically.
Yeah.
You see, I never took a back step.
Yeah.
I never took a back step.
Yes.
When we were confronted, we fought back quite. And I taught it my son also not to be a bystander.
Yeah.
Well, and how to defend himself, because those hooligans never attack you one-on-one.
Right. So growing up, you would potentially be confronted by hooligans who would try to beat up Jews and things in Poland?
Yes, but you see, but we always fought back.
Yeah.
And I could fight.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. Well, growing up, was it ever conceivable that the Holocaust would happen? Could you ever imagine that?
Look,
it
was the Holocaust happened. It was never a precedent in the history of mankind.
Yes, of course.
The hatred doesn't matter where you lived against Jews.
Yeah.
And Jews contributed to the mankind. We are a small percentage.
Yeah.
An enormous percentage of the good thing. By Jewish scientists.
Oh yeah, of course, Einstein.
Einstein.
What was it like? You heard that? What was it like the day you heard that Nazi Germany was going to invade Poland?
No, we didn't hear, but that's why we didn't invade.
Yeah.
Because Poland, you see, next Austria, willingly.
Yeah.
Then Czechoslovakia.
The Sudetenland.
Poland knew that it's their turn.
Everyone knew that Poland was going to be attacked.
Yes, but Poland was actually the one country who physically opposed.
Yeah, true.
As a youngster, I was sure the Polish army will be able to withstand the Nazi Germany. Yeah. But how wrong we were.
So you thought that Poland would be able to resist the Nazi invasion?
Well, yes, but we didn't think that I will be able to conquer Poland in 3 weeks.
Wow.
You see, when we go also in history, where the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising in 1943 was over 4 weeks. Yeah. And I couldn't conquer them.
They fought
I destroyed the whole ghetto. Left in ruin.
Wow. What was it like? Did you hear it on the radio the first time when you heard that the war broke out?
We did hear. Well, radio wasn't so popular, not affordable for everybody.
Yeah.
You see, but we heard
heard the news.
Well, not on the news. 5 o'clock in the morning, they attacked Poland.
Yeah.
You see? Then we had the sirens, and the first bombs actually fell
In
on
lots?
the railway lines.
Oh, wow.
And this was the only bombing of the city of Łódź
Wow.
in the whole war.
Wow. Yeah, the first one. So, when the war broke out, how did the Jews of Poland feel knowing that Hitler was attacking? Like, you were aware of what he had been doing with the Nuremberg laws?
Oh,
and,
well,
yeah.
we
Yeah.
knew
Yeah.
him. When the war broke out, I was 15 years old.
15 years old.
And I just finished my 7th year of primary schooling.
Yeah, yeah.
You see, well, I knew about it, and I did hear Hitler speaking how he ranted away.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
see, and the theory of it, when the propaganda minister Gabriel,
Yeah.
well, he spoke about the superior race,
Yeah.
and he was a cripple. He was
Yeah,
he had
true.
a club leg.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, but you see, and then as in Poland knew that I wanted the corridor
Yeah.
from Germany to
Danzig.
Danzig,
Yeah.
but this was an excuse.
Yeah, of course.
As a kid,
Yeah.
I was sure the Polish army,
Wow.
I said how strong the Polish army was.
Yeah.
But it was tanks against horses.
Horses, yeah.
Yeah, wow.
Because even the cannons were pulled by horses.
Wow.
You see,
Yeah.
I worked well advanced in technology.
Yeah.
But the most amazing thing it is, Germany received a lot of Nobel Prize.
Oh, yeah. Scientific
and
advancement.
32% of the Nobel Prize winners in Germany was Jews.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I know, like, they purged a lot of the Jewish scientists.
Oh,
yeah.
well, you see, well, look, Einstein looked at great right, but because nobody could imagine what happened later.
So how did your family respond when the invasion happened? What was the initial period like before the ghettos were formed?
The war broke out on the 1st of September. On the 8th of September, I occupied already the city of Łódź.
Oh, so within 8 days they had reached Lodz.
Yeah, sure.
And Lodz became part of the protectorate.
Yes.
Well, you see, in Łódź was 34% was Jewish.
Yeah.
You see, of course, a lot of people moved eastward.
Yeah.
But even when we were under the occupation, my sister moved to the east with her husband. She married just before the outbreak of the war. So when Nazi Germany invaded Poland, she was still living with us.
Yeah.
She married a month before the outbreak of the war.
Married a month before the outbreak of the war.
Yes.
Wow.
So I sent a smuggler for my sister and her husband.
Smuggler.
Yeah, to the other side. We didn't go. Why didn't we go?
Yeah.
It's a question.
Yeah.
Because people come back. People, especially men, that ran, that left their families.
Yeah.
And it was not the paradise what people expected, the Soviet
They
side.
were Bundists as well. So
Yeah.
there's a bit of a
You
problem
see?
with communists.
Yes.
Yeah, they hated the Bundes.
Oh, well, yes. And people came back and told my father, you don't go there.
Don't go to the Soviet area.
No, because I'm looking for you.
Wow.
That communists what
The NKVD.
what fled
Wow.
to there. So we shouldn't go. If we would have forced him, we would have taken the risk.
It's so interesting. I read a book by Timothy Snyder, a historian, and he studied the Holocaust, and he said, yeah, in the first couple months, it was actually the NKVD who were so brutal to the Jews of Poland because they rounded people up and liquidated so many people.
Oh, well, yes, special
Yeah.
political opponents, yes.
Yeah.
The two leaders of Bund before the wars, I was arrested. Oh, well.
Arrest the leaders of the Bund in Poland.
In Poland, yes.
Yeah.
Henrik Erlich and Victor Alte. So I were in jail, I was convicted. The name was Victor Alte and Henrik Erlich.
It's
And
amazing.
we knew in the ghetto when this took place.
Wow.
Also the restriction what were introduced in Germany applied to us immediately.
Yeah, wow.
Well, also Nuremberg law. The Bundes fled as much as I could, and the Bundes what didn't flee were later arrested also,
Yeah.
and they were all executed.
Wow. So when was your family forced to go into the ghetto?
Ah, well, it's a long story.
Yeah.
You should read the book.
Oh, I want to read the book, of course, yeah. And
1939, on
Yeah.
the 10th of December, I was 15 years old.
10th of December 1939.
Yes, 1939, where we lived actually, it was a Jewish area. We were surrounded at midnight, and we all were given 20 minutes, what we can get it, and to go down.
Wow.
And we were put not far from the center of the city, maybe 10 kilometers, no more.
Yeah.
It was called Radagosh, and what was the first concentration camp already.
Wow.
Not because we were Bundes then,
Yeah.
because we were Jews.
Yes.
And 10,000 Jews
Wow.
were deported. We were there, and after being in the whole condition in 1939, we were transported in cattle trains already.
Wow.
From the lodge, we didn't know where we were
Yeah.
going.
What was it like in the cattle trains?
Well, well, it's beyond imagination.
Yes.
Children, babies, people, young, old, and we didn't know where they are going to take us.
I've read about the thirst that people had in the cattle trains.
Yeah, yes, in 1939.
Wow.
And where did they transport you to?
And we didn't know where we going,
Yeah.
but we finished up.
Yeah.
5,000 in Krakow
Yeah.
and 5,000 in Lublin.
Wow, okay.
But, we managed to get out. But we didn't have money. The banks where Jews couldn't take out, in midnight you can't take out money from things, even
Yeah.
your head,
Yeah.
you see. So, what my father knew, Bundes, and the leaders from Krakow.
So you were taken to Krakow?
Hmm?
Yeah. Oh, you went to Krakow?
To Krakow, yeah.
Yeah.
So, my father went and did ask for certain names.
Yeah.
Certain names. Yes, I gave it the address. And we went to, the name was Alexandrovich. He was a doctor.
Yeah.
He was a leader from the Bund. He was an officer in the army.
Yeah.
And he did live opposite the Wawel. You know what the Wawel is?
Oh.
The king.
Oh, the cat. Oh, I've actually seen it. Yeah. I've been to Krakow. Yeah.
You see?
Yeah.
It's I did live practically opposite.
Yeah. Right. Wow.
And the wife was there with the two children, a boy who was 11 and our daughter was 9. Took me in.
Wow. Okay. So you lived with a family in Krakow.
Yes, and
Yeah.
my two sisters were to other Bundes, but were farriers.
Yeah.
And my father and mother somewhere else also.
Wow.
And actually,
So you immediately separated your family.
we couldn't go in one place.
Yeah. Yeah.
5 people.
Yeah. Wow.
So, I did learn this later, of course. My father, with the contact with the Polish Socialist Party underground,
Yeah.
my parents decided to go back to Lodz. We didn't know what's going to happen in the future. If we would know,
Wow.
well, we will do something different. And
So the family worked with the Jewish underground to get back to Lodz.
No.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
with hard work,
Yeah.
you see, and we burned to our friends actually. And their husbands were not at home. They were in the Polish army. It wasn't easy.
Yeah.
So I didn't notice at the time.
Yeah.
So my parents decided to go back.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
But 5 people,
Yeah.
well, Jews
Without
couldn't-
papers.
you see, without papers, Jewish.
Yeah.
You see, without money actually.
Yeah, wow.
You see, how we doing it.
Yeah.
So, well, this I've learned later, but because I wasn't taken into this confidence, I don't know if my sister were taken into confidence. So Sai took me, I was the youngest, and my father will come back later to fetch my sisters.
Wow, okay.
So we were put on train, we took off our armbands, already it was in Krakow.
Oh, so you had to wear armbands as Jews?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
And the tickets during the night. And what had happened, so I didn't know. You see, my sister was separately, my mother and father, and I were together.
Yeah.
My sister said it's somewhere else. And then my father told us, by the next station we will get off.
Wow.
So we were ready.
Yeah.
So we pretended we were asleep. We took off the armband and we went down, and two Poles was waiting for us.
Wow.
We didn't know the signals what they are into because I didn't know each other.
Yeah. So they basically smuggled you back into Lodz?
Yeah, well, yes.
Yeah.
So it took us during the night into a small country town.
Yeah.
And we were hidden.
Wow.
And it was a severe winter, snow well up. And later on, every night, it started to get dark. So I put us on a sled, my parents, and I traveled during the night to other village or a little town.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know, because the German patrols didn't go into those little roads during the night.
Yeah.
Everything was worked out, and then started to become daylight.
Yeah.
So we were hidden in somebody else's barn or
Hidden
house.
in a barn, wow.
Yes, to the next night. It took us over 2 weeks.
Took you 2 weeks to get from Krakow to Lodz?
Yes.
Wow. So smuggled through the countryside,
Yes.
sleeping in barns, that's amazing, wow.
When we came to Łódź, well, so we knew exactly what to do.
Yeah.
So, but this was already the ghetto being three-quarter finished.
Wow.
We didn't know that a ghetto.
Wow.
And we were first where we lived.
Wow.
Other people did live already there.
Wow.
Because I had to move in from beyond the sign ghetto borders.
Wow.
So
you went back to your home and someone was living there?
Well, yes, with our furniture, with everything.
Wow.
So we were, but with connection, my father got somewhere else where Poles to live, so I had to move out.
Can I ask you, what was it like when you saw someone living in your home with your furniture, all these things?
We understood.
Yeah.
What could say poor people do?
Yeah.
You see?
So you actually could understand why?
Well, yes. We didn't have 5 rooms or 4 rooms. You see, we had 2 rooms only.
Yeah.
You see.
Wow.
And our furniture with the other bedding. But my father went to connection, of course. You always need connection.
Yeah.
So we've got always, where Poles that lived before had to move out.
Wow.
I said the ghetto was the sign.
Wow.
You see, and we got
an empty room
with nothing.
Wow.
So my father went back there, and we got some beds. You see, 2 beds, not much for us 3.
Yeah.
Something, one wardrobe, and a bit utensils, pots and pans.
Yeah.
And this was ours.
Wow.
And
so this was in the Lodz ghetto?
This was the signed place of the ghetto.
Wow, yes.
This was in the ghetto.
Yeah.
Not because before Poles did live there.
Right.
And it wasn't too far from the Jewish main cemetery.
Right, okay, wow. So everyone was living in the ghetto at this point?
No, well, it wasn't finished.
Oh, it wasn't finished, yes,
No.
wow.
And the ghetto was actually closed on the 1st of May, 1940.
This is a period of 4 or 5 months then.
Yeah.
The war being shipped off to
Well, yes.
yeah.
Also in Łódź, a lot of German original or descendants of German, and a lot of them overnight become Nazis with
Wow.
with armbands, Hitler Youth, everything.
What was it like when you'd see someone with the swastika in the streets? What was that like?
Well, we hated.
Yeah.
What we couldn't do. But once we did, it was instinctively what my father and I was prepared. You see, we saw from the Hitler Youth, maybe four of them attacked a Jew, a religious Jew.
Oh, you were watching and these Hitler Youth attacked a religious Jew.
And we couldn't help it. Instinctively we jumped in.
Wow.
And we gave them a hiding, you see.
So you beat up these Nazis?
Yeah, you know what? We realized what we actually did. We didn't show our faces for a week.
Wow.
And they didn't look for us.
They didn't look?
No,
wow.
Because those hooligans were ashamed
to
tell the probably. This is what my father and I did think.
Right.
They were accosted by two Jews, one grown up and one youngster. They were beaten up.
So they didn't want to tell the Nazi higher-ups? Jews had beaten them up?
No, well,
amazing.
It's a shame.
Yeah, amazing, wow.
It's a shame. But then we did things that way
And
because
hid for a week.
they didn't look for us.
Wow, that's amazing. Was it still 1940?
Luck.
Yeah, wow. So if you had been caught for that, I imagine they would have executed Jews who had attacked Nazis like that.
Oh, well, Jews were broken people then. When we realized in this situation, the Jews couldn't buy in non-Jewish shops. Well, all those things what happened in Nazi Germany since Hitler came to power, even more. You see, cyber execution, hanging, and in the ghetto.
What does it feel like as a human being to be despised simply because of who you are as a person? To be despised because you're born Jewish?
Oh, well, of course, we did everything to fight back.
Yeah.
You see, we always did fight back.
Yeah.
Physically, but it's a religious.
The religious Jews.
Yeah. You see, because God will help them. We know how God is helping us. So, and this is how the ghetto started.
Wow.
So this is why this is where I close family friends. The older brother of my close friend who was my youth leader, Bonavine, he was in the army at the time of the outbreak of the war.
Yes. So how long did you live in the ghetto for before they began deporting people to the concentration camps?
Well, I didn't take the concentration camp. We didn't know. And the Jewish Council was formed, was established. You see.
Yeah, they formed Jewish councils.
The Jews had Humkowski, a controversial person. You see, as the head of the ghetto, was a bit of smuggling.
Yeah.
But what happened? This part of Poland was incorporated in Germany. So
yes,
we were actually in Germany.
Yeah.
Where the Polish language was forbidden.
Polish language forbidden?
Yes, in official offices everywhere. Poles has to move also, settled to the other side, to the east. You see, intelligentsia were arrested, priests and executed.
What was the relationship like between the Poles and the Jews during the Holocaust and during World War II?
Well, in the Holocaust, we were separated from the
Poles.
mainstream of Poles.
Yeah.
You see? In Łódź, this was incorporated Germany, so we were in Germany.
Yeah.
The other, what was called the Protectorate,
yeah.
there were Polish police, You see, there was the Polish underground, what was very, very active also.
Yeah.
And then the ghetto were established. And the Warsaw Ghetto was the biggest number of people. You see, in Warsaw, the was more than in Łódź, you see. And what we had, Poles and Jews had the radios first thing.
Yeah.
But in ghetto, people, some did hide, some, but not many, because it was a death sentence for the people in the families. And they did hide. And then we had people who built for us radios. Not many.
Oh, like secret radios that you guys had.
Oh, secret radio, only our receivers had.
Yeah.
You see, and we had a radio also.
Yeah.
And we're always exposed if discovered. Also, the whole family will be murdered.
Wow. So life in the ghetto, you would see violence every day from the Nazis.
Guards that amuse themselves.
The guards.
So they were bored.
Yeah.
You see, could shoot at a child, could shoot at a person. If not far from the barbed wire, when somebody looked out of the window, the guard aimed and he shot.
Wow.
And I had the Gestapo in the ghetto, a spot where the Gestapo, and also the criminal police.
Yeah. What were the Gestapo like when you were in the ghetto?
Well, the Gestapo was Gestapo.
Yeah.
Who got there? Well, or the criminal police.
Yeah.
Well, they were tortured. So we're looking also for people, rich people who were rich before the war, to get out of the richness, because all the shops, what everything was, and the bank accounts was taken away.
Looted, yeah.
Yes, so I robbed it.
Wow. So the Gestapo were systematically looting everyone and...
Oh, well.
Yeah.
You see, well, we had to be on our guard all the time, especially the underground has to be very careful, not to make mistakes.
So you were working with the underground the whole time?
Yes. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
You see, we did what we could do. We couldn't do what in Warsaw, it was in Protectorate, a lot of smuggling went on. And
you didn't have as many weapons.
But here, when we were in Germany, and especially in Łódź, there couldn't be smuggling, because before the outbreak of a lot of the Germans that lived, they were Poles actually.
Yeah.
And
ethnic Germans in Poland.
Not all, but the majority were immediately.
Like in favour of Hitler and Nazis?
Well, yes, it suited very well, you see.
Did you ever encounter a German who was against Hitler?
Oh, well, so if there was, I didn't dare.
Wow, yeah. So you never encountered a sympathetic German in the entire World War II?
Well, no, never. Well, yes, in Auschwitz.
In Auschwitz?
A German.
Wow.
No, he was a prisoner.
Oh, prisoner, wow. A German political prisoner in Auschwitz?
Yes.
What was he imprisoned for?
Oh, well, for being into socialist movement.
Wow, so you encountered in Auschwitz a socialist German who had...
Well, we didn't know, you see.
Yeah.
Because also who were so-called Blockführer, who were in charge, were brute sadists, you see.
Yeah.
And when I was with a friend, we observed, you see, and we saw that he never touched anybody. And when he gave out the soap, he stood there that everybody got his amount of soap.
Wow.
You see.
Wow.
And so I and my friend realized, oh well, he's different than the other brutes. You see.
Was he a guard?
No. He was a
capo.
No, he was a Blockführer. Higher than the
Block,
capo. He was in charge.
Right. Okay. So he was a German political prisoner, but in charge of Jewish inmates.
Yes, German. So we saw that he treats them people. But for example, if it's this block by Appel, when we were, for example, I have to give you just a number, 200, 300, and his block was always double. Because you could move. We were in the gypsy camp, so-called the gypsy camp. So, I and my friend, something must be on. So we approached and so, and you couldn't go to him and approach him. You see. And then, I don't know, maybe a few days, a week. So when we passed him, we smiled at him. And he smiled back.
Wow.
This was unusual, so we knew something.
Wow.
So we knew.
Wow.
Until we approached him so well. So we saw the people rushing so we went also into the block.
Wow.
And slowly, we were able to approach him.
Wow, that's interesting.
And you couldn't talk to him.
Wow.
So once after I didn't count the days. We smiled at him and said hello to him.
Wow.
He said hello. And another day he said, when everybody goes to bed.
Yeah.
Well, if you call it to sleep.
Yeah.
When everybody must come to my quarters.
Wow.
And we came.
Yeah.
And then he told us his story, that he was a social democrat.
Wow.
He was arrested, and he showed that half of his buttock was missing.
Half of his buttock was missing?
Yes. You see, that, and he said, I will try to help you as much as I can.
What had they done to him? What had they done to him to harm him in that way? Oh,
well, he was a social democrat.
Oh yeah, but like, did they shoot him or torture him?
No, torture him.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know with what, with canes, with...
right, yeah.
Because I did a lot of tortures.
Yeah.
You see, and this how we went on until one day we saw, we were next to the gas chambers crematorium. It was camouflage.
Wow.
We could see the flames, the smoke coming out.
Wow.
You see, it was camouflage with high electrified wire.
Yeah.
And you couldn't even poke down a finger, you would be electrified.
Wow.
And you couldn't look through it because the guard will shoot you.
Wow. Yeah.
And I did everything to finish us off. We had to do, I said, I was going to do a bit of gymnastics with us.
Right.
For our health, Can you imagine?
So all these sickly inmates were forced to do exercise?
Yeah. Oh, yes, in all weather conditions.
Wow.
And
so gymnastics in the snow?
Yeah, well, in the snow, in the mud. We were allowed to have our shoes in belt. Who had good shoes were taken away.
Wow.
And even wooden clogs. Well, this was horrible. I had very good shoes.
Yeah.
Just down before the outbreak of the war, winter shoes.
Yeah.
And so I didn't take my shoes away.
Right.
Luck.
Just luck.
Just luck. And this helped me out.
Because
and
if they took them away...
And then so they throw us a pair of trousers and a jacket, no underwear.
Wow.
This was in all condition.
Wow.
Sometimes, as I said, we had this appel whenever I did like and just make selection. So I'm going to send for work, but actually I sent straight to the gas chamber.
Wow.
You see? And one day in October, somebody came from, I've learned it later, an engineer from a big enterprise in Germany called metal workers. And I knew there's tricks. And it was October, by the end of October, you see. And so I asked for metal worker.
Yeah.
I was working in a metal factory.
in Auschwitz?
I was in two minds, and you didn't have time to think much.
Yeah.
Shall I take? Because, like I said before,
Yeah.
you stepped out and you went sent to the guest chamber.
Yeah.
So it was October. So my friend, I said, I'm taking my chance. I'm going out. I'm going out at the time, and I'm at work.
And you were working in the metal factory in the ghetto.
I worked
in the ghetto, yeah.
Yes. I was one of my friend. He was a foreman, and I was his deputy.
Yeah.
So, well, to take the chance. So, I stepped out.
Wow.
And he asked me a question. I don't know. He even knew whoever the answer to this question.
Yeah.
How many turns does a borer do in a borer machine? Borer machine, they are small, big, huge.
Yeah.
You see? And I was working at a borer machine, at a medium borer machine in the ghetto.
Yeah.
I told him, he sent me there. I didn't know where I'm going. Oh, I will go to the guest chamber.
Wow.
But I took my chance, and it was the right step I did.
Wow.
Here I am.
So that's how you got out of Auschwitz?
Yes.
And you got sent to another concentration camp?
No, well, Auschwitz wasn't. This was a death camp where I was. It wasn't a concentration camp. And I put us on trains. I dragged us into the middle of Germany, in Braunschweig. There was a truck building factory in repair also for damaged trucks. And it was a new camp there. It was bombed, it was near the railway, but the camp was never bombed.
Wow.
Well, the railway, yes.
Wow.
And every morning we had to go when it was still dark, it was winter, and this was already 1945.
Wow. Wow.
And when we came to one spot, I changed our clothes. So I took us. It was very cold. It was winter. We didn't have anything on.
Wow.
Only the shoes.
Wow.
For 2 days, and then the clothes come back, but not the same what we had before.
So
it
you
didn't matter anyhow.
So people were naked in the factory?
This was before we went to. When we were taken from the factory to go further to work.
Oh, wow.
This is what I said. In the trains.
In the trains?
The cattle trains.
Oh, my God. So in the cattle trains, everyone was naked?
Yeah.
Oh, my God, that's sick.
Oh, well.
So what was it like when you were first transported from Łódź? What was it like when they liquidated the ghetto and they sent people to the concentration camps?
No, so I didn't send to concentration, to the death camp.
To the death camp, yeah, of course.
Yeah, you see.
So,
yeah. Well, we didn't know the data, but we knew like Auschwitz, Treblinka.
Yeah.
You see, it says places of death, but we didn't know the method what I used. Because even the Allies, when they broadcast, they mentioned Auschwitz and Treblinka.
So you heard this over the radio?
Yes,
Wow.
I heard the illegal radio.
Wow. So you overheard on an illegal radio.
But we
the
didn't
death
get
camps.
the people in ghetto.
Right.
Well, what's the use? What will happen?
Wow.
We don't want that the people still have hope.
Wow. So people knew that there were death camps.
Well, we knew the places of death.
Yeah.
But how the methods,
what methods they used?
No.
Yeah. Wow.
So I didn't broadcast this. The Allies knew.
Wow. What did you think? What did your family think when they went to liquidate the ghetto?
When they went to liquidate the ghetto, I was only with my mother.
So you were in Łódź ghetto. How did you come to be in Auschwitz from Łódź?
People on the way were transported. So I wrote something in the opening between the planks and the train. Some of them did write something and put it in. And when the train came back empty, those who cleaned the train did find it. Also, so we knew. And
Wow.
we knew from broadcast.
Did people try to resist getting on the trains? How did it happen?
Look, resist with what?
Yeah, no, of course. Yeah.
You see, in Warsaw I could smuggle because it wasn't not in the Reich, it was the so-called the Protectorate.
Yeah.
And a lot of smuggling. The main number of Poles that live over there, also the Polish underground special was very active also.
Yeah.
So it was completely different. We always did the dream about resistance. If you can't acquire one single gun, well, how with what will you fight back?
Of course.
Yes, I trained how to use a rifle, but with a broom.
Yeah, wow.
We were trained by former soldiers, but you can't shoot with a broom.
Oh, of course. So I read about your account of when they were liquidating the ghetto, the Nazis would throw children from the upper floors. Could you explain that to me, like how this worked?
Well, simple.
Yeah.
You know, those SS.
The SS would come.
But the trucks came, and the babies. So I took them down even from the second floor, and some of those young SS took off the uniform, put on the bayonet on the rifle, and caught the babies. When I surrounded the hospital, and the same street was the factory where I worked.
So what city was this in?
Lodge.
Yeah.
Lodge.
So this was when they were like clearing out the ghetto?
This was not clearing up yet the ghetto. This was
The liquidation.
1942.
Oh, the action,
In
yes.
1942. This was in 1942.
So they held the SS action to clear everyone out.
Well, yes, I came in, cleaned up, and so I threatened anyone. The patient had to be registered in the hospital. If somebody will escape, if they will not present themselves, or they will take the rest of the family.
Take the rest. So what did you do when the action took place?
But this was the beginning. It lasted a whole week.
Oh, a whole
after
week.
the liquidation. Yet
Wow.
it was where you couldn't move from. You should stay in your place.
Yeah. So you stayed in your home?
Oh well, we did everything to hide,
Yeah. You tried to hide, yeah.
and I did hide with my mother, my father, because I had two aunties. The husbands were in Russia, with the 6 children, so I were hiding, and my father supposed to take them to a safe place. And you know, with children from the age of 3, 5, 6, they're still children. It's not easy.
Yeah, of
You
course.
see, to dress them in
To hide them as well.
And then it was too late.
Wow.
And I saw it. I saw it hidden in bushes
Wow.
with my mother. I didn't let my mother see it. I kept her head on my shoulder.
Oh my God. So what did you see them do?
Well, that my father didn't escape. He was taken
Yes.
with the aunties, you see,
And
the
the
children.
Yeah.
And later, after this was finished, they were taken to the prison in the ghetto.
Yeah.
And in the evening, I looked for someone whom you know.
Yeah.
You see, I went there, but immediately, usually I was staying there a day or two,
Yeah.
but this, when my father was taken with my auntie, was immediately put on the trucks and sent to Helm,
Wow.
to
Helma.
Kulmhof.
Yes. Wow. So you and your mother were sent together? How were you taken during the SS action?
Well, I had to be sorry for my mother,
Yes. Yes.
you see.
Yeah.
And I always say, oh, well, you know, my father will manage somehow to escape, I don't know.
Yeah.
What could I do? This was my liquidation of Seattle in
Yeah.
1944.
Yeah.
Well, when we were hiding in different places in Outbreak,
Yeah.
you see, we had to have a ladder.
Yeah.
Wooden ladder was not possible. because there was no wood, and if it would be wood, it would be too big, too heavy, and not enough room to, in a few minutes to pull it up.
Yeah.
So we made a ladder out of rope.
A ladder,
thick
yeah.
rope. And after a month, my mother couldn't climb up anymore because it's a night time, so I didn't come to together. I was still afraid.
Wow.
You see? So we went down, but then it became impossible after a month.
Yeah.
My mother couldn't. She was 53 years of age.
Yeah.
I'm not saying the physical weak.
Yeah.
And she realized it, and she said she will present herself and I should go in hiding.
Wow.
But my conscience didn't let me do it. My
Yeah.
mother's going, I hope
Yeah.
that whenever we will be taken, I will be able to help her. Well, how long I was.
Yeah. So you presented with your mother to the...
Yes.
Wow. And what was that moment like?
Well, we went together in the cattle train.
Wow.
And then after a few days, we arrived in Auschwitz, Birkenau.
What was it like on those cattle trains to Auschwitz?
You can imagine. Well, we tried to keep up the moral of the people, but you couldn't keep it up.
Wow.
So I knew it's not good, you see.
How did you deal with the thirst?
Well, you had to deal with it, otherwise you will despair.
Wow.
If hunger was not enough, it's a despairing. Oh, we always try to give good news. When we heard how many bombs were dropped on Germany,
Yeah.
you see it's Americans by day and British by night. So instead, how the tonnage of bombs I dropped. And we try to convey this in our way to the people. We give them hope.
Yeah.
You see, well,
How long did it take you to get from Lodge to Auschwitz? How many days?
oh well, a few days, maybe 4 or 5 days.
Wow. And what...
Because I had to stop also because military, with their whole lives were busy with the military.
Yeah.
Because Russians were already back on the other side of the Vistula.
Wow. And people would die on the cattle trains?
Oh well, of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Wow.
And what happened when you arrived?
Oh well, on the right, it was the most tragic part.
Yeah.
You see, when I flung open the doors and said, everybody out, men one side, women and children the other side.
Yeah.
And it just took only a few minutes.
So you were separated from your mother?
And my mother realized this, that she will not get out of this place because, as I said, it's so brutal.
So you saw that?
Prisoners were forced to help them.
Wow.
You see, my mother realized straight away that she will not get out alive from there.
Wow.
So, and this instant we were not allowed to talk to each other. And she turned to me and said, you should do everything humanly possible to survive.
Wow.
And when you will survive, you should tell people wherever you will find yourself.
Wow.
And I tried to fulfill the last wish of my mother.
Wow.
To this day, yeah.
So this was 1940...
44.
Wow, and it was actually so close to the end of the war, but...
Oh, well, yes.
Oh my God.
Well, we were in the ghetto when it was D-Day.
Wow.
This was very catastrophic also for us. Because
So you heard about...
those radio listeners,
Wow.
some were so excited that I started to talk openly about the invasion
Wow.
of the landing in Normandy.
Yeah, wow.
Well, so the Gestapo and the criminal police went into action, arrested everybody who had radio.
Wow.
Well, our radio was not known to nobody.
Wow.
And also friends of ours, also from Bonn, had also a radio.
Wow.
He was with his sister, not at home, so he rushed home, took the radio, and hide it.
Wow.
And after the war, he went back also to find the radio.
Wow.
And it donated in Israel. This radio is in one of those museums in Israel. This radio.
Wow. Wow.
On the kibbutz. There's a Ghetto.
Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing. So people knew about Stalingrad and D-Day as it happened?
Oh, well, we knew about Stalingrad. We knew about...
So you knew the Nazis were losing?
Oh, well, but then we knew it's over, but I still murdered.
Wow, my
It
God.
just shows you the manic intent of them.
Yeah.
In 44, when the old Hungarian Jews were around,
Oh, well,
what,
no.
475,000, and they devoted all those resources and rolling stock
Yeah.
to bring them to... Some came to Lodge, didn't they?
No,
they went to Auschwitz.
No, not the Hungarian Jew.
All went to Auschwitz.
Yes.
German Jews and Austrian Jews for Czechoslovakia, not from Hungary.
Wow.
Hungary, in nearly, not in 10 months, I murdered 500,000 Hungarian Jews.
And this is when they were losing.
Yeah.
They were losing and they were still devoting all this rail stock
Yeah.
to it.
Yes.
It's insanity.
How do you understand the insanity there? Like,
Well, people say it to me. I always say to them, don't even try, because it's impossible for a normal mind
yeah,
to understand
yeah.
or to grasp it, what actually happened.
Have you ever thought to yourself, like, why did Nazism exist? Why did this happen?
Right, there's not a why. How could be a why? What did we do?
Of course.
And it's also evil.
What did the kids do?
Yeah.
What did those babies do that they threw from the...
And evil will find a place where good men stand by,
Yeah.
which is, it's a famous saying, but it's so true.
Oh my God, I mean, how could it happen that an entire country an entire nation could be...
Well, it's not a civilized
A
nation.
developed nation,
Yeah. That produced Einstein and Bohr and all these great scientists,
Yes.
Wow. It's actually incomprehensible.
Well, and how could they convince that less than a percent of the population were Jewish? No more.
Yeah, 1% in Germany, wasn't it?
Yeah. Not even 1%. What I contributed to Germany.
Yeah, they could... And they fought in World War I.
You know Hitler. He was in the army.
Yeah.
And a Jewish officer, they nominated him for a medal.
Yeah, for the Iron Cross, wasn't it? Yeah. I was reading about Carl Schmitt, the crown jurist of the Third Reich, who, did so much to propagandize for the Nazis and defended intellectually somehow the Holocaust and all this evil. And I was reading, one of his first best friends was a Jewish boy who died in World War I. And it's like, how could it happen?
Lies. Well, in superior race.
And intellectuals were part of it. It's great. Like, I was reading about...
Yes, doctors did the experiment.
The eugenics.
Mengele. Did you ever see Mengele?
Oh, of course I saw it.
You saw him with your own eyes?
When I came, he was the year and I was there.
My God, that's sick. You feel cold.
With his
I didn't know who then his name.
Yeah, but you saw him with your eyes.
I saw him, yes.
My God.
Well, it needed the selection.
My God, so he selected you, did he? So he said off to the side.
No,
Or
didn't say
pointed
anything.
you. So Mengele stood before you and pointed you to the side to live. Mengele, that's sick. Mengele himself.
Yeah.
And what does it tell you also about how corrupted the Nazis made the German society? When
A doctor.
who sworn the Hippocratic Oath,
Yes.
which is what basically to preserve, prolong and protect human life, is taking lives and experimenting on living people.
Oh my God.
It shows you how corrupt it is.
My God, it's sick. I mean, and so you're 1944. Do you know what month it was in 1944 when you were sent to Auschwitz? August 1944. So this is...
But practically the second last transport to...
Oh my God. So Hitler would be dead within 12 months.
Yeah, not even 12 months.
Yeah, not even 12 months. My God. So 1944 1944, August 1944, your mother, her last wish, and how old were you when she's made that last wish to you, that you tell people about what you experienced?
20 nearly.
20 years old. Wow. So you're 20 years old, and now you're 99, so basically 80 years you've been fulfilling your mother's last wish.
Yeah.
My God. What was it like, that last moment when you saw your mum?
It's so in front of me. I see my mother when she telling me.
Yes. My God.
Well,
my God.
And he's got his memory. That's one of the real. He trained himself to remember everything because he couldn't write anything down.
You see, I registered everything in my brain.
Wow. How would you train yourself for your memory?
Oh, well, I knew this is what I have to do. I can't write down.
Yeah.
I had a pen and the paper, and if there would be, I was always for the lookouts. I knew that people, if they got, I will write down. And it happened, even though Jews were forced away, needs crematoria.
Yeah.
Decided to write down, and did hide. Some were found later.
Yeah. Wow.
In I was still there, 1944.
Wow.
You see, every few months, those who were forced to work near the crematoria were guessed and cremated.
Wow.
And you saw it by the uprising.
The Auschwitz uprising, yeah.
Well, by the crematoria, so I knew it's their turn. The most brutal officer there, the SS, so I picked them up and threw them alive into the furnace.
My God. So, did you receive a prison number when you were in Auschwitz?
No, I'm from those who did not.
Wow, okay, yeah.
Well, and I was lucky, you see, and I was told by not if I can avoid a number, because if you had a number in a selections, I took your number.
Wow.
So you couldn't, and I didn't have a number, so I could
disobey
as I couldn't look for me.
Wow, and again, just luck.
No.
My gosh.
Very few who have got numbers. I don't know, my luck.
My God. How do you deal with the memories? I imagine you must have had so many nightmares over the years and things like that.
Oh, well, I pushed it away.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I wouldn't make it.
Yeah.
Because I had to do what was possible for me to do.
Yes.
And I wanted to fulfill my mother's wish.
Yes. So that was the thing that kept you going the whole time.
Yeah.
Wow.
But there was also
and luck.
And luck.
But it was also a matter of surviving with your humanity.
Yeah. My God.
Because when he was liberated by the US Army in 45,
and
they captured some SS men, and the US soldiers offered Dad a Tommy gun to go and shoot them, and he said, "No, I can't do that." And the GIs asked why, and he said, "If I do that, I become what they are."
My God. So I read you were 29 kilos when you were liberated.
Yes.
God.
And never been in hospital a day in his life still.
My God. So you're 21 years old.
Yeah.
So you're 21 years old and 29 kilos.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine. How did you keep yourself going?
Well, my will.
Will. Iron will. So 29 kilos when you were liberated. 21 years old and 29
But I wasn't sick.
But you weren't sick.
And I knew that when food was plenty, not to eat too much. Eat, but not fatty things, because a lot of people died after the war also, because I was so hungry inside. Any food came in the possessions I ate. It could be bacon, could be fatty stuff. Yes, I had.
And the body can't do it.
The body went into shock.
So how much would you what was the diet in the camp like? Like
diet?
I mean, no, I mean, like I'm sorry. I mean,
it's all right.
Sorry. I meant like what was the amount of food you would have?
Let me tell you.
Yeah, I'm so sorry for you.
It's all right. No, it's
yeah.
This is why it's impossible for people to grasp it, to understand it.
Yeah, I know.
Look, in Auschwitz, in the morning when we had to get up, it was dark.
Yeah.
And we had to be counted at the roll call.
Wow.
You see, then we received our so-called, supposed to be a bit coffee. Well, it was a bit dark water.
Dark water.
Lukewarm when it was cold.
Yeah.
The wind did blow from the Carpathian Mountains.
Wow.
You see?
And you were just dressed in rags?
Yeah, not rags. I had nothing underneath. I had a jacket.
Wow.
And trousers.
And these would have been
no
sub-zero
socks,
temperatures?
No socks, but I had the shoes, what were very good.
So these would have been sub-zero temperatures and...
Well, yes, it was freezing.
My God. I just don't understand how you even keep going in such a situation.
You know, like I said, my will.
It's amazing what the human mind and the will can do. My God, the willpower. I mean, you hear stories.
And this where people gave up. I couldn't.
Wow. So what would it be like if someone were to give up? Like...
Well, I don't wonder. He knew, as I knew, the family is gone, and I'm suffering so much.
Yeah.
Well, I should say go on.
Wow.
And even in Auschwitz, in Birkenau, when my friend, we saw somebody want to give up, we approached him. Well, couldn't just approach him and have a discussion. We waited for a moment, we approached this person and he said, don't do it.
Wow.
Because as long as you're alive, you got hope.
Yeah.
Because I want you dead, one way or another.
And that's, if you look at the title of his
Well,
book.
and some survived.
Wow. Wow.
It's a will of mind.
It's amazing. I wonder, what was the closest you think you came to death? Were people ever killed next to you?
Oh, well, of course.
My God.
Of course. But you couldn't do anything.
Could you tell us about one situation like that?
What about your fingernails there?
Oh,
Well,
okay, yeah.
Well, this was not in Auschwitz, this was in Germany.
Yeah, when you were taken back to Germany as a slave labour.
Sent me to Germany.
Yeah, they sent you to Germany as a slave, basically.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, you see, and in Braunschweig, we worked in a factory what produced trucks in the repair trucks.
Yeah.
You see what came back, trucks that could be repaired.
Yeah.
You see, and we had an appel. We had to be in one line.
Yeah.
Not sticking out a little bit.
Wow.
You see, and what happened? I checked always, but I saw the last man. He had his high boots.
Yeah.
With this pointed.
The jacket.
Oh, you see. I always checked around in the line. And when he approached me, I could feel that he looking too much at me, so I was prepared for it.
Wow.
So when he wanted to kick me in the genitals, I covered it. And he kicked me not in here, but in here. So I still have a little scar. This healed. This healed.
My God.
This as I pulled it out, to go to relieve yourself.
Yeah.
You had to go when I told you.
Yeah.
And when you needed to go.
Yeah.
Your body didn't function normally.
Yeah.
And I knew it. And I did look for the occasion when I could go. I needed to go.
Yeah.
And misfortune, somebody must have saw me. And when I went out, I took me to where I treated the people. So I hold me back and pulled out my, with a plier, the fingernail.
An SS man pulled out your fingernail with a plier?
Yeah, not the SS man, it was a couple.
Oh my God.
You see?
I can see your fingernail.
Have a look, different.
And you still didn't get infection.
And
you know why?
and you know why?
Yeah.
There wasn't any medication.
Yeah.
There wasn't Band-Aid.
Yeah.
But I knew, and I've heard it in my life up till then,
Yeah.
that when you're bleeding, it's your own urine. It's the best antiseptic.
Your urine.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I've heard that too.
And I did it, and then I didn't have any Band-Aid.
Wow.
So paper sacks from cement.
Wow.
I washed it also in secret, not to be cold. Washed it and wrapped it up.
Wow.
Well, and no infection that set in.
And you had to go back to work with your fingernail. My God. I can't understand. I just can't understand.
It's hard to comprehend, isn't it?
It actually is incomprehensible. Were there any other times like that where you were tortured or beaten and things like that?
Well, otherwise I tried to avoid it.
Yeah.
For example, in Braunschweig, this was a working camp. So when this camp was new when we arrived, it was newly built in 1944. And so I did send 20 German prisoners to be couples.
Yeah.
Once, like I said, opened here and here. Both occasions I did the same thing.
You covered yourself?
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
But this was brutal once I pulled out.
Oh my God.
I gritted my teeth because it was very painful.
Oh my God, I can't even imagine. What? This is funny, but I get a little fingernail. It hurts. My God. I mean, so you can still imagine the pain in your mind. You can still remember it.
Well, you had to wear.
Wow. Wow. Can you, if you remember that moment, can you still feel the pain of it?
Well, I can imagine the pain.
Oh, God.
I don't feel it.
Wow. So
I know it hurt.
Can you describe to us the moment of liberation when the US troops came?
Oh no, well, liberation on the 1st of May, 1945.
Wow.
We were in the last camp, what was also, there were no Jews there before. There were from international, also slave laborers, politicals.
So like Poles, Russians?
No, not Russians, other from across Europe.
Yeah.
You see? So I put us on trains. So I wanted to take us further.
Further?
Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
We didn't know. We could hear already. Berlin was only 100 kilometers away.
Wow.
We could hear the planes flying overhead, bombing, the cannons.
What did it feel like inside when you hear
the cannons? Oh well, we were happy. so I put us on trains and took us. We didn't know where.
Yeah, wow.
And when we came to a forest.
A forest.
So I stopped and said, said, now everybody out, we were going to fetch blankets. We didn't have anything to cover ourselves. It was cold at night. Yeah. You see? Oh, well, I said, I know what could happen. To forest. Why did they stop? Let's buy blanket. So I become so humid.
All of a sudden.
So it must be a trick. So my friend, I said to him, when we go and we will be deeper in the forest, we will hide. We will hide. What we got to lose?
Yeah. And you were speaking Yiddish to each other?
Oh, well, of course.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't have any clue, so we did hide. I don't know. It took an hour, 2 hours. Yeah. So I came back, and this time everybody carried a blanket.
Wow.
But everybody had blanket, but not that.
Yeah.
And so I took us back to the camp. I couldn't go anywhere anymore.
Yeah.
You see?
So these were the US soldiers?
No, this is The Nazis.
Oh, the Nazis, right.
No,
Yeah.
the Nazis took us back to the camp.
They had nowhere else to go.
And so I kept us. I said,
Yeah.
well, it's a building what I did build wasn't finished yet. It was for American Jews.
Oh, okay.
So I prepared it. It's all late. It's a war.
Wait, sorry, say that again?
The building that they were housed in
Yeah.
was being prepared
Yes.
for American Jews.
That's how insane the Nazis
Yes,
were.
so mine. Here's
Oh my
I
God.
losing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
As I pushed back in Germany, as I bombed to the ground.
Yeah.
So I still will.
fanatical.
My God.
But it wasn't finished.
My God. So why do you think they gave you blankets at that point? Do you think they wanted to look good for the Allies?
I
when
don't
they
know.
liberate? Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I don't know. You never knew what I going to do.
Yeah. You must.
And then maybe I saw already it's near its end. So
Yeah.
if I caught, I will say, hey, you see what?
Yeah, we've got blankets for.
Yeah.
God. So you could actually hear the bombing in the distance of Berlin.
Oh well, you can imagine 100 kilometers and,
Yeah.
and bombing and cannons. Of course we
Yeah.
had.
It would have been a constant stream of
Oh.
planes and bombs.
So you must have known that they were very close to defeat.
Oh well, of course we
Yeah. And you must have had so much hope inside. And
well, I never lost hope.
yeah.
Like I said, as long as I got life, I got hope.
Yes.
Like I said, I didn't trust them, so I took a chance. If I caught us, I will shoot us.
Wow.
You see? What did I have to lose?
Yeah.
And it was the right move. But I did have a blanket, but later when it wasn't far back to the camp, so we were all tucked in the same blanket.
Wow. So what was it like when you first saw the US troops and
Oh well, look. We didn't jump out because we knew I could have those tricks.
yeah, it could be a trick by the Nazis.
Yes, you see. Well, so I disappeared. You see.
So the Nazi soldiers
when
disappeared.
when the people rushed out, so I opened with machine guns.
Yeah.
So well, yes. So we were thinking, no, we're not going to do it. If the liberation will come,
Yeah.
we better here inside.
Yeah.
You see, so people didn't rush.
Wow.
Because we knew what they're capable of.
What the Nazis? It could be a Nazi trick.
Even in the last moment.
Yeah. My gosh. And so, how did you first see an American soldier?
Oh well, I came in on motorcycles
Yeah.
and then the tanks.
And then at that point, did you celebrate?
Oh well,
Wow.
well, but what I did find,
Yeah.
6 feet high, corpses piled up.
My God.
So I took 200 of those corpses to the nearest city, Ludicrous, it was a park. And the chaplain of the 82nd Airborne Division, I've got the speech, Airborne Division, had a speech to the Germans. The mayor and his wife committed suicide.
Who committed
The
suicide?
mayor and his wife
Wow.
committed suicide.
After the
And
speech.
I will give you the speech. I got the speech.
Wow.
How,
So the
how I got
Americans-
the speech, I was there.
Wow.
My grandson, he lives in America now.
Wow.
He went to see this place, and he got the speech of the American chaplain.
Wow.
And
So the Americans transported the corpses from the camp to show the Germans.
not the Germans, not the Americans, the Germans.
Yeah.
Oh, the Germans?
No, wasn't it the Americans took the corpses.
Oh yes, but
Yeah.
but I had to do it.
Yeah.
Oh, the Germans had to do the labor.
The labor. And
So the Americans forced the
the
Germans.
mayor and his wife committed suicide.
Wow. And you were there when they spoke to
Yeah.
the Germans? Wow. What was that moment like?
Oh well, it was. It was our victory.
My gosh, yeah.
And you know, and there were special houses built for the SS and the officers.
Yeah.
you should see the cellars stocked up with food and wine.
Wow.
You see? And I and my friend, when we went out in such a house, a beautiful bed, we wanted to go to sleep that bed.
Wow.
It was so comfortable, we couldn't. We went down and on the carpet we slept.
Oh my gosh.
And then what did you do in the cellar?
And in the cellar,
Yeah.
well, when we went down to the cellar, it was so much bottles of wine. And so we opened bottles, it was sweet, probably French liquor. I was
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
a connoisseur of alcohol.
Yeah.
And we drink it like, not like alcohol, like soft drinks.
Wow. So you were 30 kilos and you're drinking.
Well, yes. And,
gosh.
and we fell asleep. I don't know for how long we slept.
Wow. That's amazing. So this was in the quarters of the SS men.
Yes, I had houses, the families.
Wow. And so, tell us about how the American soldiers had rounded up the SS men and they had a gun and they.
We didn't see it
Yeah.
because as I ran away, maybe I did run them up.
Yeah.
You see,
Yeah.
but there was no fighting.
Yeah. They offered you a gun though to.
Well,
So the Americans, when they had the SS prisoners, they gave you a gun.
no.
So
We
so what's the
didn't
story here? Yeah. Yeah.
No. So I didn't offer us.
Yeah.
Well, and I wouldn't do it. I would like them to face the court.
Yeah. Right. So what did the Americans say?
Oh well, the place is undescribable. You know, what I did with prisoners.
Yeah.
You see, so I put them in barns.
Yeah.
Not so American. It's a chef.
Yeah.
And then light them and burn the people alive in the barn.
Well, this is what the SS did to people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what happened? Some tried to crawl out. And
Yeah.
what the Americans did found, half bodies, half where it was roasted.
Oh my gosh.
You can imagine the Americans all the sense where we went wild.
Yeah. So the Americans had witnessed the atrocities.
No, I thought the act of the atrocity.
Yeah. Yeah. So the Americans had seen the aftermath of the atrocities,
Yeah.
and so they wanted to punish the
Look,
SS men.
when the camp I was verbally liberated,
Yeah.
they were 6 feet high, piled up, skeleton corpses.
Wow. Yeah.
Hundreds and hundreds. I took
Wow.
200 of those corpses. I give you this.
Oh yes.
Let's
Okay.
see.
Yeah. Sure. So the 504th 82nd Airborne near Ludwigslust found Woblin concentration camp. The troopers were horrified and shocked by what they found. Woblin, although not classified as a death camp, was a work camp where prisoners were neglected and starved to death. Unfortunately for the 504, the SS had left the area and the 504th met only Wehrmacht forces in the vicinity. The people of Ludwigslust were forced to pass in review of the horrors of Woblin and what Hitler had done in their name. Later, under American supervision, the citizens of Ludwigslust buried the victims in the city park where a monument was erected. The Burgermeister and his wife later committed suicide after knowing the full extent of the horror at Woblin. And this is the chaplain's burial address. We are assembled here today before God in the sight of man to give a proper and reverent burial to the victims of atrocities committed by armed forces in the name and by the order of the German government. These 200 bodies were found by the American army in a concentration camp 4 miles north of the city of Ludwigslust. The crimes here committed in the name of the German people and by their acquiescence were minor compared to those to be found in concentration camps elsewhere in Germany. Here there were no gas chambers, no crematories. These men of Holland, Russia, Poland, Czechoslovakia and France were simply allowed to starve to death. Within 4 miles of your comfortable homes, 4,000 men were forced to live like animals, deprived even of the food you would give to your dogs. In 3 weeks, 1,000 of these men were starved to death. 800 of them were buried in pits in the nearby woods. That's how close. There were 4,000 and 1,000 died in just 3 weeks. My God. These 200 who lie before us in these graves were found piled 4 and 5 feet high in one building and lying with the sick and dying in other buildings. The world has long been horrified at the crimes of the German nation. These crimes were never clearly brought to light until the armies of the United Nations overran Germany. This is not war as conducted by the international rules of warfare. This is murder such as is not even known among savages. Though you claim no knowledge of these acts, you are still individually and collectively responsible for these atrocities, for they were committed by a government elected to office by yourselves in 1933 and continued in office by your indifference to organised brutality. It should be the firm resolve of the German people that never again should any leader or party bring them to such moral degradation as is exhibited here. It is the custom of the United States armies, through its chaplain's corps, to ensure a proper and decent burial to any deceased person, whether he is civilian or soldier, friend or foe, according to religious preference. The Supreme Commander of the Allied Forces has ordered that all atrocity victims be buried in a public place and that the cemetery be given the same perpetual care that is given to all military cemeteries. Crosses will be placed at the heads of the graves. A stone monument will be set in the memory of these deceased. Protestant, Catholic and Jewish prayers will be said by chaplains Wood, Hannon and Wall of the 82nd Airborne Division for these victims as we lay them to rest and commit them into the hands of our Heavenly Father in the hope that the world will not again be faced with such barbarity. Major George B. Woods, Chaplain, U.S. Army. Amazing.
So you have it.
And you saw this yourself?
Yeah.
You were in the crowd while you saw this? Wow. What did you feel for the German civilians who claim they didn't know?
I couldn't say. I don't know. Living so in Alsace, living so close to them.
Of course.
In beautiful villas.
Of course. What do you feel towards them though, when you see these people who let it happen?
Well, I didn't rush at them and try to kill them.
Yeah.
Because I won't become dead.
Yeah. Yeah.
You see, I wanted the law to take care of it.
Yeah.
In the proper courts.
Wow. Yeah. Your son said that you were actually offered by the American soldiers the opportunity to hurt some of the SS men.
Well, no.
Yeah.
I wouldn't take a gun.
You refused.
No, I wouldn't.
Yeah. It's amazing. I can't understand the moral courage you must have to not feel a sense of a desire for revenge.
Well, yes, the perpetrators. Yes.
Yes.
But to go in civilian people, to kill civilian people, babies?
Of course. I wanted to ask you, I think it's over here. I wanted to ask you about that. So this is an example of a poster that's been seen in Melbourne, your city of Melbourne, and people are using this to protest against the state of Israel. And I just wanted to ask you, you see this, and people here in Melbourne are comparing the Jewish Star of David to the Nazi swastika.
Well, look, yeah. I'm underage.
Yeah.
I'm underage.
You feel anger and fury.
Look what happened on the 7th of October.
Yes.
So I came in and raped the woman, killed the babies, and took hostages.
Of course. It's sick what happened.
How can you even try to justify it?
Of course. And how can it be that this...
Yes.
That people can try and...
compare it.
The Star of David to the swastika. Which is a religious symbol of the Jewish religion.
Yeah.
How have you felt watching these protests the past couple of months? Have you been fearful about the rise of anti-Semitism again?
Well, I am underage.
Yes.
Well, people don't know. I don't realize even what I'm doing.
Yeah, of course.
You see? So I don't realize what I'm doing.
Yes.
What does the protest?
Yeah.
When somebody murdered my family and you go after those murderers?
Yes, of course.
I murdered babies.
Because
raped women.
Of course. I mean, what the Nazi government of Germany did to your family. They killed you. They killed your father and mother, and they killed you.
My sisters, my everybody, and babies, and children, and grown up, and elderly.
You saw babies be thrown from buildings when they cleared out the ghetto and Lodz.
Hospital.
My God, and so it just must be devastating to see people.
This is supposed to be young people educated.
It's so bad. It's so bad, and I honestly just wish people knew the history.
Well, this is the problem.
What do you say to people when they try and compare what's happening in Israel Palestine to the Holocaust? They make this comparison.
How stupid it is.
Yeah.
The Holocaust. This is what happened. The Holocaust never happened before.
Yes.
And it was so documented by the murderers.
Yeah, of course.
You know, there are hundreds and hundreds of millions of documents.
Of course, yeah. Of course. I mean, my feeling is they try to compare the Star of David to the Nazis, and they use the analogy of the Holocaust to inflict emotional pain on Jewish survivors. That's what I think. I think it's like almost an insult against the survivors.
Well, unfortunately, there are not many survivors. You see?
Yes.
Well, it enraged me, and I'm angry with the educated young people.
I understand. I feel angry myself when I see it.
You see?
What would you like to see for the Israel-Palestine conflict? What is the hope for peace there? What do you think is the path to peace?
As long as that propaganda will be like this hate, and those young educated people will not realize the truth.
Yeah.
You see?
Why do you think it is that this hatred has come back up? Why do you think it is?
Oh well, look, we have to ask them.
Yeah.
I can't tell you. I can't answer for them.
Wow.
Yeah, you bomb and those murders hide between the civil population.
It's wrong. Yeah. It's so wrong.
Well, it's so wrong, and I don't see any goods for mankind.
I wonder, do you see a commonality between Nazism and Hamas? Do you see any connection there?
There's no connection.
Yeah.
But you see, it's a hate. Why?
Yeah.
Why? Have a look. What happened? Israel got over 1 million Arabs living there.
Yes.
So I'm members of parliament. Show me one Jew, a member in parliament in all those countries.
Well, look at
just the opposite.
Look, that is fair. That's a fair point, and I think as well people don't realize how many. I think people don't realize. You hear these students at the university and they say, "Oh, well, Israel's colonizer project. It's white Europeans." They don't realize that half the population of Israeli Jews were expelled from the Middle East, Tunisia, Algeria, Iraq.
Well, yes.
Yeah.
They ran for their lives.
Yeah.
And Israel absorbs them.
Yes. Why do you think the state of Israel has to exist today to protect the Jewish people? Like, is that how you feel?
Oh, well, you have to do something.
Yeah.
How can you protect in a different way?
I'm just trying to think of how to word this, but what is your message for like coexistence, peace? Like how can the world leave these types of horrors in the past, things like the Holocaust, things like the October 7th, things like these barbarous wars?
Look, Golda Meir said something, but if I didn't think about it.
Yeah.
You know when peace will be? When I will love those children as I hate us.
Yeah. When they love their children more than they hate us. I think it is unfortunately correct. Like, the only hope for peace is recognizing that nobody's going anywhere. There has to be coexistence. Do you feel a special responsibility as a Holocaust survivor to speak up very forcefully against anti-Semitism occurring again today after October 7th?
Oh, well, I always did and I always will do, as long as I live.
Yes.
Not only against us, but against racism.
Yes, yeah.
I spoke in my life to hundreds of thousands of school kids.
Yeah.
And those kids understand.
Yeah.
When I tell them they are racist. There's no race, it's only one race, the human race.
Yes.
No different of the color of the skin. What hurts one human being hurts also another.
Yes, absolutely. That's the only way, recognizing the common humanity of everyone.
Yes, well, I didn't accept it.
I understand you. I just hope that
we should never lose hope.
Yeah, of course. And listen, Abram, thank you so much for speaking to us. And I hope that I'll be able to live to 100 like you have. And I will tell people your story for as long as I live.
Yeah, look.
That's my responsibility.
I don't hate the Arabs. I don't hate them.
And the Germans?
It's a German. You know, when I ask question, when I finish talking, the student asks, do you hate the Germans? I say, no. Because now there are already 3 or 4 generations of different Germans.
Yeah.
I was not even born then.
Yeah.
Why should I hate them? I didn't do it. It's our ancestors did it.
Yes. God willing, in future generations to come, we'll be able to all live together in peace, and the crimes that are committed in people's names will vanish in history.
Yeah, well, look, yes, because we are all human beings.
Do you think one day there is a possibility, just as many Jews have had almost kind of a reconciliation with Germans through the way that you rejected revenge and hatred and stuff like that, do you think it's possible in future generations to have that type of reconciliation between, say, like the Israelis and the Palestinians?
It depends on the leaders.
Yeah.
It's the fanatics.
But there has to be a rejection of in the same way that the Germans repudiated the history of Nazism, there has to be the same repudiation of hatred.
Germany is now one of the most democratic countries in the world.
Yes. So there is hope. There is hope if the ideology of hatred can be rejected.
I believe so. I always will never give up hope.
Yeah.
Well, I've got children, I've got grandchildren, and I've got a great-granddaughter. You see, I want to live in peace.
And you've lived a beautiful life, I have to say.
Well, yes. I made the best out of life as much as I could. That's
a beautiful way to end it, I think. Thank you so much, Abram. Thank you. You're a legend.
Nice to talk.
You're a legend. Thank you,
no,
sir.
I'm not a legend.
No, but seriously,
I'm doing what I have to do.
Yes.
And I hope people will realize it.
That's it. Look, my hope is I will tell your story to as many people as I can in the future.
Well,
carry it on.
That's that people have to realize this is not just a story.
Of course, what you're experienced, yeah.
You see, this is the most important.
Of course. When we have kids, I will tell our kids about this, and I'll tell them never let hate win.
No,
never.
Well, this hate is the scourge of mankind.
Yes, absolutely.